Good morning, rise and freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. Wow, looks like we made it. It's Freedom Family Friday, which means that my smoking hot, redheaded libertarian wifey, Stephanie Peterson, is in the house.
I straightened my hair for all y'all.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
Speaking of straight hair, you keep checking out the back of little baby Hazel's head to see if she's got curly hair. Because you want her to have straight hair, right? But
I mean,
she might have curly hair
is definitely easier. You see, when you have curly hair, especially the kind I have, frizz happens. And frizz is hard to maintain. You got to use a lot of product on it. So, I mean, her curly hair, if she has it, I hope it's just not super frizzy.
She's got beautiful red hair just like you, and I hope it is curly because as a straight hair person myself, you always want to have curly hair, but
I know. Everybody wants what they don't have.
That's right. Like everybody else wishes that they had Donald Trump as their president, but they don't. He's ours.
He's got straight hair. That's right. Imagine that comb over with curly hair. That would be quite a sight.
The Gulf of America is only the beginning. The early skirmishes over global landmarks are nothing compared to the fights over renaming public projects.
I have problems with it.
Donald Trump himself. You better not have problems with it because we're selling Gulf of America merchandise like it's going out of style, man.
They better not be tearing down statues that say Gulf of Mexico.
No, it's time we do that. We have to tear down the Gulf of Mexico statues. We have to put up statues to Donald Trump over the Gulf of America. What say you?
But it's part of our history. If you're not going to tear down Confederate statues, then you better not tear down Gulf of Mexico statues.
We're going to tear down the left. We're going to let the left continue to tear down their own statues like Woodrow Wilson and others. We'll talk about that this morning. We do have to say hi to our friends like Floby Tenderson over in the chat, as well as Ashley Ann joining us this morning.
Yeah. I know Ashley and her children.
Yeah.
Are you coming to D.C. with us, Ashley?
Sure hope so. Jose MMA is joining us as well.
Jose, he's a new subscriber.
Yeah, I know. Quest Fanning, Mongoose 87.
Quest, he's coming to D.C. Whole family.
Dad Bod Baboon hanging out with us this morning. Nice to see everybody. Nice to see you all. Welcome to the show. If you guys haven't already, please do click the like button on the stream. Help support the Wake Up America show. If today is your first time watching the Wake Up America show, I know it's not Caleb Vanderfelt's first time watching the Wake Up America show. If it is your first time, though, then please do click the follow button if you enjoy the content, and then you can come back and join us for the show schedule, which is every Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a 2-hour live stream. It's a great show. So next on the Wake Up America show, we're going to talk about this morning. Oh, this was the week of all these contentious hearings,
that was funny.
RFK Jr. and the Bernie Sanders one. Wasn't that so funny with the onesie?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The RFK ones were really funny because he just looked like a crazy man. Mm-hmm. They're like, RFK, did you say that back? What was it? He said something makes people trans.
Well, yeah, it was something about from his book apparently that it was like chemical fertilizers are making people trans.
Yes,
it's like I don't like them putting chemicals in the water, turning the frickin' frogs.
He's sounding like Alex Jones, to be quite honest.
Well, that's why he gets a lot of the same supporters.
Has he actually been confirmed?
No, not yet.
Okay.
No, they haven't had the vote yet.
I'd be fine if he wasn't.
Really?
I think he's a little cuckoo.
He is cuckoo.
Yeah, I'd be very scared what he's going to do if he gets in government.
I think he is cuckoo, but I do want him confirmed because the problem with the whole cuckoo argument is, first of all, people think we're nuts. And, we kind of are a little bit, right?
We at least use logic. We at least read research articles. I used to read natural news, yes, but I no longer do.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of what RFK Jr. has said in the past is cuckoo pants.
Yes.
But some of the things that he says are absolutely not cuckoo pants.
Like what?
Not
to put you on the spot on that issue, but...
Well, no, it's okay. I mean, listen, his push... he said he was against lockdowns, COVID-19 lockdowns.
Okay, I'm with him there.
He was against COVID-19
All
lockdowns.
right.
He was against the vaccine mandate.
Yes,
now you can
I'm
argue
against that too.
You can argue, well, that's because of his, stances on vaccines, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
But then he's also said other things that it was like weaponized by Ashkenazi Jews. It was a weird interaction that he had with the Wall Street Journal back in the time.
There was
remember?
some Jewish angle to it.
Yes,
but he likes us. I don't think he hates us.
No, he doesn't.
No.
He's just
he doesn't blame us for
No,
things.
he doesn't. It's not the Jewish conspiracies controlling the world situation like Candace Owens or something like that, right?
But I think he was saying that Ashkenazi Jews have some sort of genetic makeup where we don't get COVID.
Yeah, it was like a resistance to COVID-19.
I actually got COVID, and I'm an Ashkenazi Jew.
That's
so
true, yes.
we have proved him false.
Dude,
Again, he's
hold on.
crazy.
Well, he is a little nuts. But you know what? I think here's the thing. I think we need a little bit of crazy in there because we've had normal, rational, sane people.
Who was the guy in there before him?
I'm
really asking some really good questions.
You're like
here.
testing my knowledge. This is not what I was prepared for on a Friday morning.
I see Austin as like a living dictionary. You're like the book of life.
No, I'm not.
In my head.
I just read like a little bit more than maybe the average bear, but maybe not as much as the Commode bear. Jews and COVID. Let's see. What did RFK Jr. say about Jews and COVID? Here we go. Oh, there's a lot of sources on this. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. made comments suggesting there was an argument that COVID-19 could have been ethnically targeted to attack Caucasians and black people while being less harmful to Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people.
Yeah.
I remember when that came out. Kennedy later clarified he was not implying the virus was deliberately engineered to spare any group, but was referencing the idea of ethnically targeted bioweapons. And he was citing a 2021 study which he claimed showed differential impacts of the virus across racial and ethnic groups.
Well, I'm sure it did. Our genetic makeup is
possible.
different.
Yeah, it's totally possible, but it's it's just that you have all of the the groypers and the Jew haters who sees on that to be like, look, RFK is one of us. He thinks that the Jews and the Chinese collaborated to create a virus that attacks whites and blacks. Right.
Well, I'll tell you something. Our weakness here: we can get Tay-Sachs disease. Jews can get Tay-Sachs. See,
right? And
that's not a good thing.
And black people can get sickle cell.
Exactly.
Yeah, there are.
See, we're not out to hurt everybody. We have our own diseases that we have to deal with.
What if black people came up with Tay-Sachs so that they could attack the Jews? It could happen.
I bet.
What if it was Kanye West?
Yeah, like where did Tay-Sachs even come from? Yeah. I'm starting to conspiracy theorize the origins of Tay-Sachs.
We're just asking questions. We're not making any accusations here. This is the school of we're just asking questions.
But that's why I married a non-Jew, so that I wouldn't get Tay-Sachs. You see, it's in my best interest.
Baby Hazel, yes. L-Dubs, our resident black man, Latrell, L-Dubs 78 in the chat. What's up, Latrell?
L-Dubs, I am so happy that that COVID-19 was not going to get you. I'm glad that we're part of the safe class.
Yes. No. The blacks are actually they're being attacked by COVID-19.
Oh, it's the Chinese people. Just
Chinese.
kidding. Asian people.
Yes, the Chinese.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
The Chinese and the Ashkenazi Jews are safe from
That's
COVID.
Right. Well, I'm sorry, L-Dubs, that you are not a chosen person.
Yes, and then the white people, Caucasians, and black people, we are targeted by it.
Yes.
But black people created Tay-Sachs disease to attack the Jews. Mm-hmm. The Jews created COVID to attack the blacks and the whites. I mean, we're all just creating bioweapons out here left and right.
I was in China back in 2005. You have no idea if I visited Wuhan or not.
Oh, good point. John Rail joins us in chat this morning. John Rail.
Oh, John, hi. John is awesome.
Yeah. Hey, I see all these people who have the little red badge next to their name here on the Wake Up America show. Do you know what that means, Stephanie? When they have the red badge next to their name?
Are they a member?
Yes, that means that they are a subscribing member, which means
subscriber. It means they can get 20% off in the shop.
It means they do get 20% off in the shop. And we are going to be having a lot of fun today because we do have bonus content to unlock. Number one. Grape. Yes. And we also have got a gift to give away to members today.
I wonder what it is.
Well, you just want to just tell them what it is, what we're giving away today?
Oh, sure. They
yes.
just can't stay in suspense any longer.
No, I know.
So it is a Smokin' George coin necklace.
Great.
It'll be packaged by me with my beautiful soft hands.
There you go.
And I'll write a special little note in your envelope.
That's right. So everybody who is a subscribing member to the Wake Up America show, no matter how you do it. So if you have a red badge after your name, you've got nothing to worry about because you are considered a sub member. The nice thing about the red badged people, though, in the chat is many of them got gifted their subscriptions.
Yes.
So that opened up the pool for more people to be able to win the George Washington smoking some unknown substance quarter, which is nice. So we deface a little currency and we promote George Washington smoking something. And we're going to give that away to one lucky winner in the chat. Well, anyone who is a monthly subscriber.
Right, even from wakeupAmericaShow.com/support. We've been getting some new subscribers lately.
Yes, we have.
Brad
and
and
we
I have
appreciate
been
that.
on the phones this week, and we are getting some really interested people.
Yes, we are. So we've been really getting aggressive about growing the For Liberty Network, and I'm actively interviewing people to add new shows to the network, doing what I can to help improve. I meet weekly with the other shows, Liberty Tonight and Culturama, to help them improve their content. And things are just growing really nicely because of how aggressive we have been in trying to grow the For Liberty Network. And a huge thank you to everybody here who is joining us live, because there's 115 people over on Rumble, and you might say, oh, well, that's not very much. But the thing is, if you have 115 people who are dedicated, who are motivated, who are donating, who are participating, that's really all you need to have a successful show. As long as you're tenacious and you work hard and you're like Stephanie and I, and you're willing to build a healthy community. And I think we've got that. We really are special.
Oh, absolutely. Very much. Yeah, imagine 115 people in an audience in seats. Mm-hmm. That just puts it in perspective for me.
For sure.
Because I'm like, that would be pretty packed.
Mm-hmm. Floby Tennyson says, can I order one cut from a pre-65 quarter? Oh, Floby, of course you would ask that.
Oh, well, that's the one you have. Isn't that the one you have?
Yes.
Yeah. We're not giving away the actual silver one.
No, I got that one at a Renaissance Festival, and then I had to look all over the country to try and find a person who will make those for me. Mm-hmm. And, of course, they won't make them out of, the pre-1965 quarter. So sorry about that one, guys. Don't be mad. Don't be mad.
It's for free. Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's enough.
Gosh, they're really irritated today.
They're mad. They're mad.
They need some coffee.
Yeah, you guys need some coffee, guys. So go over to the shop and get yourself some coffee. We're going to talk about the news, and we're going to play some clips. The Gulf of America. Stephanie was not happy about this until we started selling beach towels like crazy. The Gulf of America is only the beginning. One of President Donald Trump's early initiatives is already bearing fruit. Google Maps said on Monday that it will change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and Denali to Mount McKinley for users in the United States. So this is part of a big project to alter the names of landmarks to suit his political and cultural preferences. Not just his political and cultural preferences, but the people who supported him, which are the ones that are supporting these changes, like I do. I absolutely support it. For example, he's also insisted he's going to change the name of the Army-based Fort Liberty back to Fort Bragg, which was how it was known from 1918 until 2022.
Now, what's this McKinley thing? This is the first I've heard. Is that some sort of offensive person that it was named after?
It is, President McKinley, but Mount Denali was the historic name of the mountain until
that sounds wonderful.
Trump loves President McKinley. That's his favorite president.
I don't know anything about McKinley.
The thing about McKinley, remember he was the guy who was assassinated? President McKinley. I think he was the first president who was assassinated.
Oh, I think you made a video about this.
Yeah, President McKinley. Mm-hmm. And McKinley was big on tariffs, which is why Trump is a big fan of him.
He sounds like someone I really would enjoy.
Yeah, but when you say that, when you enjoy, you mean not enjoy, actually.
Sarcastic.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
So not enjoy, but...
Did you like McKinley?
No. No, I like Thomas Jefferson, and I like Calvin Coolidge, and I like Grover Cleveland, and I like a little bit of Ronald Reagan, and I like Donald Trump. There we go.
It's just weird how he's motivated by these characters that have nothing to do with liberty.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, the thing about Mount McKinley for him is that it's part of that trend, the woke trend of taking American landmark names and renaming them. So he's kind of just giving the left a bit of a taste of their own medicine to a certain extent, even though it's not really a taste of their own medicine, because much of it's really just being named back to what it was.
Yeah.
Before, when Biden took over, they started changing these names. Like
Denali was not the original.
Denali was like the name of the mountain before. Tell me about the Mount
think Denali is a beautiful
versus
name.
McKinley.
I would prefer. What would you all prefer, Denali or McKinley?
I would prefer McKinley, even if I wasn't a big McKinley fan.
Yeah.
Originally it was named Mount McKinley by a gold prospector in 1896.
Okay, well, if that's the OG, then okay.
Well,
we'll
that's
keep
not the
OG.
OG. Here's the story. So Mount McKinley is part of the Alaska Range in Alaska. It's the highest peak in North America.
Oh.
So the indigenous name, so just calling it that already, I'm out. But the indigenous name is Denali.
I love it.
Yeah, it comes from the Koyukon Athabascan name for the mountain, meaning the high one or the great one.
We're going to name our next child Denali. There you go.
Oh, God, no. The name Denali was used by the local Athabascan people long before American colonization. Even in the early 20th century, there were efforts to officially recognize this name. So the effort to revert the mountain's name to Denali began almost immediately after it was named McKinley. Over the years, there were numerous campaigns, largely led by Alaskans and Native groups, to restore the indigenous name. In 1975, the Alaska State Legislature officially requested the U.S. Board on Geographic Names, that's BGN, to change the name to Denali, but Ohio, McKinley's home state, opposed the change, leading to a political stalemate. In 1980, despite the BGN's approval, Congress stepped in to block the name change through an amendment in a bill. The issue remained unresolved until President Obama used the power of the Department of Interior to bypass Congress, and then they announced that the mountain would be officially renamed Denali. This was done right before Obama's trip to Alaska, and so since it was Obama, you know what? McKinley.
Maybe I don't like change.
Yeah, that's a lot of
I
people.
like the original historical version of things.
Yeah. So we got
here in America. We have barely any old stuff to even look at.
We've got to take a poll. So in the chat, you're going to do AP if you're with AP, like Ashley Ann, or SP if you're with Steffi for the vote. Okay, guys, can we get some votes? Let's get some votes.
I'm using logic here.
I don't care about your logic.
I'm just making a general rule. If it's the original name, keep it.
Here's the thing. The Bench Bureau says that facts don't care about your feelings. But the reverse is also true. My feelings don't care about your facts.
Look at that. I'm the only one here with logic. And you guys are using your emotion to attack me.
No one gives a shit about logic. Everything is based on feels and does it make my tummy go, ew, do I feel good about this policy? Ooh. So guess what? That's how it's been for a long time, and now it's us. We're going to use cultural domination, and we're going to use pressure, and we're going to force everyone to bow and bend to our will. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be McKinley, because you sons of bitches had to change it back to the indigenous, homosexual, Native American, bisexual, trans person of color, Mount Denali.
I love Native American people. Seriously?
No.
There are two groups of people that I love most in this world. Mm-hmm. Native Americans and Amish people.
Native Americans and Amish people can stay in the United States, but they stay at our pleasure. At our pleasure. They stay because we allow them to stay.
You know, I could go down a rabbit hole on Amish people
Drew
with
Van
you.
Runkles,
yes.
One vote for Drew. Everyone else, it's AP. That's why it's the Wake Up America show with Austin Peterson.
You guys, you're haters. You hate Native American people, and that is not okay.
No, they just love AP. They just love their boy. They just love their boy AP. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, guys, thank you so much. Click that like button. Good to very nice. Where does the word Missouri come from, Austin? It comes from the Native American people who were the Missouri Indians, and they were because they called it the land of the big canoe, which is why we're going to rename this state of Missouri to Trumplandia.
Look at that. Look at that. The Native Americans didn't do anything to us. All they did was they were just met by the white man.
Bullshit.
The white man's like, get out.
You've been buying the propaganda, Stephanie. The Native Americans didn't do anything to us, man. Spoken like a true Jew. You weren't.
No.
No, the Native Americans did a lot to my ancestors. You guys came over on the boat a little bit later.
Well, no, we came over on the boat. The Jews, according to the Mormons, we came over a lot earlier.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The Native
we've been here.
According to the Mormons,
we were here before the Native Americans.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why I have such a close relationship with the Native Americans, because I was here with them. Yeah. That's
true. That's right. So according to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, your people were here before my people. That's because the Native Americans were actually a race of the ancient Jews who built a boat and came over to the Americas. And Jesus also came to visit those ancient Jews. Here in Missouri.
That's right.
Where we live, which is now Trumplandia, by the way. This is no more Missouri. We live in Trumplandia. Trump-Zuri. How about that? Trump-Zuri. We'll compromise. Trump-Zuri. So the ancient race of Jews. We got to say thank you to Quest Fanning to help. He started up unlocking the bonus content. He went and bought some. It looks like he bought some tea this morning. He went over to the shop and bought himself a delicious bag of Gray's Revolt. You know, our friend Tamara says that.
We have that.
Yeah.
Counter here.
Yeah, she says that's the Boston Harbor Black.
One.
I don't know where I put the rest of them, but Earl, she said that is the most delicious tea she's ever had in her life. So I hope you enjoy it. Quest, thank you for helping to unlock the bonus content.
Thank you.
If we hit $75 raised by the end of the show, in either purchases or Rumble rants, then we will unlock the bonus content for today, which I'm really excited to share with you because it's about a major court case that involves the Second Amendment and liberty. So please do go to forlibertyshop.com. These towels that we made, speaking of Gulf of America and renaming things, the Gulf of America towels are just flying off the shelves. People love them.
They do, especially the people down south.
Yes.
Because they get to go to the beach and we don't.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, they live on the Gulf of America.
They're so lucky.
Yeah. So we know, everybody knows we have the Walton and Johnson. We can't say, another announcement that we have yet. We haven't closed that deal, but we do have some major news coming for our listeners from the For Liberty Network, what I think they're going to be really excited about.
Yeah.
But we can't announce it just yet, but it's coming very soon. But I'm just really thrilled about this one. It kind of came up out of nowhere this week, this opportunity for us to grow the network. And so so guys, keep an eye on the For Liberty Network's Wake Up America show, because I'm guessing probably next week we're going to be able to give the big news for the listeners. I think they're going to love it. I think they're going to be really thrilled to see it. So
if it happens, I will be very excited myself.
Yes. Drew
Just have to be patient.
Yeah, we're very close. We're very close. Drew Van Runkle says, because I feel MAGA guilt for buying the woke Costco coffee. What?
Costco, let me say something.
Hold on here.
Okay, listen.
It sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
I am the Costco god, and I love Costco so much. Their hot dogs are amazing. If you buy anything at Costco, you are forgiven, sir. Costco is the number one above anything else. That's right.
Okay.
And then we're number two.
number. Where's Sam's Club and all that one?
Sam's Club is like down.
What?
It's down. Sam's Club is just copying Costco. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I think I'm pretty sure that Sam's Club came before Costco.
No, but Costco's way better. They have way better samples, a lot more selection.
Yes. Floby Tenderson is guessing that it's baby number 2. That's his guess for the big announcement. He thinks it's baby number 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good guess, actually.
I guess, that's the funny thing is that, like, people, they jump to the next thing very quickly.
Oh, yeah,
like once your baby's 6 months old, they're like, all right, when are you having the next one?
Yeah.
It's like, gosh, can I not recover my body?
No, you cannot recover your body. Your body has recovered very well, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
It's quite lovely.
Yes, I am in my prime right now.
She's looking very good, actually.
Thank you.
So keep an eye on the Wake Up America show, guys, because we should have a major new announcement for you next week. It's going to be very good and very nice. I've got a billion clips to play. We've got some fun stories to talk about today. One of the things I'm really excited to talk about today, I've got this story about 5 ChatGPT prompts to build wealth doing nothing. And I'm excited to talk to our listeners today a little bit about what I call the abundance mindset, or what it's known as the abundance mindset today, to talk a little bit about how to change your mindset in order to attract wealth and to live a life of abundance. So
it's all in your mind.
Yes. CO Day, good morning. Welcome. He says the show has gotten whack. Yeah. He's only here to talk to Jonah, Megatron, and Quest at this point. I guess
happened?
I don't know. The show
what did we do? Is it because I like Native American people?
I have no idea. You can't please everyone.
No.
So this week, Donald Trump, the big news this week, which I think is relevant, is to talk about all of the potential layoffs coming for the federal government.
Yay!
Looking very good to very nice.
I'm okay with this one.
Good morning, pineapples.
This is very libertarian.
Looking very good to very nice.
President, you've offered over 2 million federal workers the option to resign immediately. There are 50,000 FAA employees. Does this tragedy give you reason to reconsider that option of resignations because of concerns about staffing issues on airline safety?
If people aren't coming to work, if they're not going to come into the office and report as per the date that you know what it is, everybody knows what the date is, it's been very well documented, then they're going to be terminated.
So you're not concerned, though, that if many people take that offer, there could be shortages that could lead to
then they'll be replaced with very competent people.
President, you've offered...
You love to see it. Yeah.
Dang.
Yes.
What is the date? February 3rd? I don't remember the date. I guess we're all supposed to know it.
Yeah, I'm reading, BuzzFeed as a website still exists. I'm reading it this morning.
I love BuzzFeed.
I'm reading it this morning, and they're, of course, very unhappy about what's going on with the government right now, with Trump being back. They're crying about it. And they wrote this article, says people who work for the U.S. government are sharing what the current mood is like, and it's incredibly bleak. So all of these federal employees are going online now, and they are posting, like, on Reddit and all these forums about how they feel. Number one, this is going to make you feel so good. Number one, IRS agent here, not feeling great, Bob. Not feeling great. Oh, your tears are delicious.
I really hope that their feelings make them give us large returns. Just give us big checks in the mail after we file our taxes.
Yeah, well, we're about to find out what we're going to save. We're going to find out what we are going to save with our new tax credit that we get for the baby. That'll be interesting.
Yay.
Number 2, government contractor here. Nobody knows what's going on. We're waiting for an adult to unscramble this word salad, Trump's word salad. Are we defending the Constitution or gutting the 14th Amendment? Are we freezing federal hiring or creating an external revenue department? Go to a circus, expect to see clowns. Oh, your tears are delicious. The tears of unfathomable sadness.
Oh, boy. I mean, we did just get a letter from the FDA, or from the insurance the other day, saying levothyroxine has a recall. I mean, the FDA is clearly missing things here when they're approving medications.
Cecilia Harden went and bought 2 bags of our delicious 4 Liber tea this morning. Thank you, Cecilia.
Thank you. I wonder what kind she bought.
I have no idea, but
Okay.
Colonial Chai and Gray's Revolt. She's gonna love it. She's gonna love it.
Colonial Chai is very good. I have personally tasted that one, and it's amazing with milk. Oof.
Yeah, absolutely delicious. So thank you guys for that. We appreciate you guys helping unlock the bonus content. That looks like that means that we're only like $15 or so away from unlocking the bonus content. Just doing a little quick math in my head, or maybe like 10 or 15 bucks away. And once we do, you guys get to see the mini documentary that we produced today about
We
this.
need to appoint a calculation person.
It's tough because
in the chat so that they can keep tabs of how much money.
Well, I calculate everything because they can't see the Shopify,
Right.
But then there's also the Rumble rants and everything. So it's hard to they couldn't possibly know. All right, so we're talking about federal government employees reporting on what's going on right now. They say it's pretty grim. Most of the stuff is illegal, but no one knows what that means now. A new email was set up to communicate directly with federal workers. This week, one asked everyone to quit, not a buyout in any way. They are obviously written by someone without experience in the government or knowing how the budget works. The return to office is going to cost taxpayers millions or billions. Less than 50% of federal workers are even eligible for telework. The federal civilian workforce, some 2 million Americans, 2 million people work for the federal government. Jesus.
Wow.
The idea isn't to save money. It's to destroy the federal workforce and checks and balances. Well, you're half right.
Not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind the pensions that these government employees receive.
No
I wouldn't
shit.
mind the high paychecks
No
that these
shit.
federal employees receive. They have a pretty good life, honestly.
No kidding. Well, that's why they do it.
Yes.
Right, they do it because they can't be entrepreneurs because they can't come up with ideas or work hard or sell tea or
Right.
start a podcast and build a community and be community leaders and step up in their communities to take charge. They want to sit around on their ass and they want to collect a pension after they work, put in their 20 to 25 years.
Yeah.
And the thing is like a lot of that is holdovers from like boomerism of the years when you really did get that even at like a corporation. Now everybody knows that you're not guaranteed a job after, a certain, our generation knew that in order for us to increase our salary, we had to jump around from job to job. That was the only way to increase our salary because like pay raises are not a thing.
Oh yeah, I only got 1 to 1.5% working at my hospital job, and I was there for 10 years.
Yeah, I got one pay raise in my life, and it was like I went from $40,000 a year to $41,000 a year. That was it. That was my pay raise.
Yeah.
And that was it back in like 2008 or something like that. And I was just like, you know what? There's just no way that we're going to be able to get ahead in this economy. If you aren't an entrepreneur, if you don't have a side hustle, like you just can't make it. Most people can't. I mean, some people, like they're lucky, or maybe if they're a skilled engineer, they can work them way up. Maybe be a Walmart manager or manage a Panda Express, and you can make $100,000 a year and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, if you're in marketing, advertising, you can get some really great bonuses.
Yeah. I'm looking at the chat this morning. So we have Look, It's Liz here. Good morning, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
And the Spirit of Truth has come in to bless us with something.
What?
The Spirit of Truth has come in to say, blessings to you and all. May the light of God's Holy Spirit be in and with you all, for you are all God's children. God has his temple in the heart of every man, woman, and child, so love one another. Well, that's a very positive and uplifting message.
Wow. It's almost like God himself is here in the chat.
Yep. It's so
That's cool.
So I'm excited actually to talk a little bit later about some how to use AI to build your wealth, and we're going to talk a little bit about mindset and how important mindset is. So important, and you and I talk about this.
Cognitive behavioral therapy, baby.
Yep,
that is what I teach all day long.
I know. Well, it's amazing that you teach that, and that like you never ran across the concept of the abundance mindset, but there's something very deeply hardwired in most of us to have a scarcity mindset, and that's where socialists come from.
Or a negative mindset in general, because that's how we survived back in the day. We had to look for all of the scary things in our environment, the negative things, and that's how we survived.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, this isn't something kind of like that book, The Secret, where it's like, oh, it's the power of positive thinking, man. You just think about nice things and they'll happen. Or what do they call them when you envision something.
Oh, manifesting.
Manifesting something. Yeah. No, none of
Yes.
that gay shit that's like for chicks. No, this is like real business thought processes that you can implement in order to actually help increase your wealth in your life. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on the show, which I'm very excited for. We're only like 10 to 15 bucks away, guys, from unlocking the bonus content. If you go to forlibertyshop.com, if you buy a bag of For Liberty, that'll do it. That'll unlock the bonus content. You guys will get to see an interesting mini documentary about our Second Amendment rights and a recent bit of good news. We're talking this morning about name changes of the mountains. We're talking about the Gulf of America name changes, and we're reading some of the responses by federal employees to what's going on with the incoming Trump administration. Here's an employee from the CDC talking about the changes that the Trump administration is making. They wrote, I worked my entire career to get to the CDC. See, this is what they do. That's what they care about.
Oh, yeah.
Literally halfway through my bachelor's degree, it was my goal. I worked my ass off at an Ivy League school. Oh, God, you know this person's a psycho lefty. Did AmeriCorps Vista
I used to want to do AmeriCorps.
for basically no pay.
That's cool.
Got into you're not supposed to get a lot of pay working in AmeriCorps.
No, it's more volunteer.
Yeah, no shit. So like, I did it for basically no pay. Yeah, it's called public service, you trash panda. Got into one of the best universities for a master's of public health and had my eyes set on a specific fellowship and worked to it and got it. Every decision I've ever made professionally and academically was to get to the CDC, and this effer comes in and wants to kick us out. Yeah.
Well, it's not. He's saying you can stay. You just have to be at a desk.
Oh no, he wants them out.
Oh.
He wants them out.
So if they return to work, they're
they
still
still
out?
could lose their jobs. Yes, that was the
Okay.
announcement. Is that Trump says you will return to work. If you don't, just resign. But even if you do return to work, you might still lose your job. I'm just so I'm just like.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
I'm so happy, guys. It's all happening. It's all happening. I'm so glad and thankful.
It is wonderful.
It is.
I mean, I like to see both sides. And it's like, sure, if somebody truly just has invested their entire career in this government job, I can see where that would be really terrible if they lost
This
it.
person spent their entire life
Yeah.
looking for an opportunity to lord over the rest of us. That everything that they did was aimed at taking power over the rest of us. That was what their entire sole modus operandi in life.
Remember, though, these
going to the Ivy
people-
League school, going to AmeriCorps. This is a person who they didn't take a year off from college to find themselves. They didn't sit around and try and figure out who they were, or they didn't go work at a gas station or go out in the fields to try and get an understanding of how life is and how life works. They had their eye on a collision course with, I am going to be like Anthony Fauci,
yeah.
So
Well, remember,
I'm glad they're suffering.
Talking about mindset, right? The mindset of these people is they truly feel they're saving the world.
Mm-hmm.
They think that they are so needed to help other people.
Right.
They're like Mother Teresa in their own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they're coming from. And so they have no idea that they're doing any harm at all, which is really sad.
Yep. Sky 66888 46993 over on X. He says that his wife worked her way up McDonald's for 18 years.
Wow.
And became a general manager making $70K, but was sabotaged by her supervisor so he could replace her with his girlfriend 20 years younger than him. Jesus.
Dang.
That's how it works. That's how it works. That's why, you got to have your own side hustle. You got to be ready to build your own business because
it happens in every workplace. When I used to work at the hospital, they would do layoffs every few years, and they would say your job might not be safe. I even had to re-interview for my social work position one time, and they basically did American Idol style, where they put us all in a room, and the people who were going through to the next level and who got to stay, they were all in the room with me, and then the other people who didn't get to stay were not in the room, and we all got envelopes saying what our position would be at the company. So it is scary to be faced with a possible layoff.
Yeah, here's I'm reading accounts from federal employees who are complaining about the changes that Donald Trump is making. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, and we're just drinking liberal fed tears all morning long. It's delicious. Number 5 here on the list: Health and Human Services. This is where that person works. They say they feel bleak. This is what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is slated to take over if he gets confirmed. This mess has brought my team together as we are sharing memes and information through text. So that's nice. Despite what this administration thinks, all we want to do is our jobs. Sure. Help out our stakeholders, protect human and animal health, and provide service to the public. But we are now sitting in meetings, having to decipher all the memos and executive orders and trying to prevent panic. Civil service can be demoralizing on a bad day, but this has gone above and beyond.
Oh, yeah. The left is incredibly emotionally distracted right now.
I know.
They're really having trouble processing all of these changes.
Well, this is part of Trump's strategy, is to get them confused so that they don't know what's going on, so that they will be demoralized, and hopefully that they will quit. This is a good strategy. It's a completely different strategy from what happened last time when he got hamstrung and schnookered by the people that he had brought in. Last time he didn't know, how to operate things. His first term, he wasn't a DC guy. He was a business guy. Yeah. And so, he brought in those guys that, like Pompeo and others, people that stabbed him in the back, and then boom, turns around and, learned his lesson. I think honestly, it was better that he wasn't president, as bad as it was for the country during the Biden years. He had to come back and build a new coalition. The new MAGA coalition is not like the old MAGA coalition, right? The new MAGA coalition is completely different. And I think it's better because it's stronger, because it is more diverse. It turns out diversity is our strength after all. No.
I saw somebody say that every president should have 4 years break before running for president again. And I honestly think that would be a good idea, although it would not be good for the presidents who are older, who are like 80 years old when they first run. But I think it's good because you need to be able to reflect on what happened, have a vacation, just refresh yourself, and then you can come back even stronger and better for your next term.
Here's another one, and this is another reason why I fully support Donald Trump's efforts in what he's doing. Here's another federal employee. They wrote this: "I'm very angry and compelled to stay at my post, uphold my oath of office, and stick it to the new administration. They aren't running me out without a fight." You see, this is exactly why this needs to happen, right? That is the deep state right there. These are the people who don't change. The policies don't change no matter who the incoming administration is. Like, the fact that a federal employee is going to defy their boss, which is the president and ultimately us, because the president serves the best of the people who elected him. And so this person says right here that they're going to try to stay just to throw sand in the gears of this upcoming administration. This is why it's so important what Trump is doing. And I hope that we can find, as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to, after this show is over today, I'm going to find this post and I'm going to go out into the deepest, darkest recesses of the internet. And
Silk Road?
I'm going to try and find this person, who it is.
What?
I'm going to try and find out who this person is. I'm going to use all of my detective information that I can, and I'm going to try and do this, and I'm going to try and report this person. I'm going to call our congressman, Dr. Bob, and I'm going to see if we can find who this person is. They didn't give much information, but if we can find a history of other posts, we're going to find who this Fed is, and we're going to root him out. What do you guys say? You guys want to go Fed hunting?
I'm surprised that these government workers aren't making TikTok videos. I bet they are, about how upset they are.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
Some of them are. Yes, absolutely. So
they better be wearing an anonymous mask if they don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, we'll find out. And then here's another federal employee says, that scene in Titanic where the band plays as the ship sinks?
Yeah.
Yes, that's how these federal employees are feeling right now.
Aww.
We're reading a list of feds who are publicly posting, stupidly, about how they feel about all the Donald Trump changes right now, if you're wondering what it is we're talking about. Number 8, this person says, despair. it sucks to be working hard and meeting all your performance goals, but the people you work for are convinced with no evidence that you are a lazy piece of shit. Yes, we are convinced.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
here's
need
the
evidence.
thing.
This is not an evidence kind of situation. This is a gut feel situation. We're now playing by the left's rules. I feel like you're a lazy piece of shit, and you work with the feds. Therefore, you are, and therefore you shall be guillotined.
Right. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of very hardworking, passionate people in these jobs. I get it. They just have very different ideas about the role of government. And that's why I almost feel bad for them, because they don't realize what a libertarian society really is.
At least you're going to get a lot of work as a therapist, right? I'm sure that you're going to be like just inundated with all the mentally ill people who have been lording over us and don't have an opportunity to tell us what to do anymore.
Yes, this uncertainty that the left is facing right now is very taxing.
Good.
On their mental health.
Here's what they write. They say they've openly admitted to wanting to make us so miserable we quit. Yes. And it's like every day there's some crazy new idea for how to punish us. Oh my God, this is like pornography. I'm having a hard time imagining living through the next 4 years of this, and I'm seriously depressed about it. I'm so God. I feel so good. It's so beautiful.
I just thought of what libertarian corn could be like.
Oh my God.
It would be like a scene where there's like some sort of government building and like all the people get fired and then there's some sort of like sexual thing that happens. That would be libertarian corn right there.
Oh my God. It's so beautiful. They continued on. They said, I know someone is probably going to say, why don't you just quit? The problem is I actually love what I do, and the small team I work with, see, that's the thing, is they love lording over us. It feels like a hostile takeover, yes. And I'm in a highly specialized field that isn't going to be able to absorb the number of workers that will be looking for a job after all this. Yeah!
Here's the thing, too. These people were lied to. Probably by their parents, their teachers, by everybody around them. And they seriously thought that this would be their path to greatness.
My nipples are hard. Good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. It's not even cold in here.
I know. Did you turn the heater off?
Yeah, but because it makes that loud noise and stuff. Sorry, baby.
It's okay.
It's hot enough in here as it is with me.
I know.
Welcome to the Wake Up America show. I'm your host, Austin Peterson, and things are getting a little wild in here. If you just turned in, you have no idea who we are. Sorry if it got all sexual, but we're reading rants from federal employees who are complaining about the incoming Trump administration, and it is beautiful. It is a beautiful thing. And my smoking hot redheaded libertarian wife Stephanie is joining us.
Hello.
Freedom Family Friday.
I'm bringing some logic into the conversation and also devil's advocate content.
Looking very good to very nice. Good morning, pineapple. Looking very good to very nice. The U.S. Postal Service saying, waiting for the eye to look upon us more directly. Okay, so that means that they're saying that Trump hasn't come for the Postal Service yet, but that he will, and they're waiting for it here.
Well,
Go ahead.
the Postal Service has been in existence since a long, long time ago. Wasn't Abraham Lincoln? He was like a postal man.
Oh, yeah, I think he
delivered
was.
mail.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. Yes, the Postal Service was in the Constitution.
Yes, it is one of the few like private businesses that should not be in the Constitution as being run by the government.
Yes.
But it is one of the constitutional prerogatives of government. Doesn't mean that it should stay that way, though, of course. Yeah.
Well, if we start messing with the Constitution, then what else are we going to mess with?
Lots of things. Here's an air traffic controller said, we've been understaffed and underpaid for years. No hope of higher pay until 2029 at the earliest now. Can't do anything about it even though we have a union, and 5% of the GDP flies through the skies daily. What should be a good upper middle class job that you'd never dream of leaving is instead lower middle class and nearly impossible to work around thanks to the schedule. I've seen more people quit than I ever expected, and I'm sure things will only get worse. Air traffic control, automate it. AI. Like why are you privatize the air traffic control? Like the FAA, the FAA doesn't need to exist.
Well,
you could just privatize it. Just have a private corporations competing for the contracts to do air traffic control at airports, and then 90% of it is going to be robots, and 10% of it is going to be people who run the machines.
Right.
Yes, that's what it should be.
A lot of pilots, when they're flying the plane, there is a robot, actually, a computer that's flying the plane for a lot of the time. The pilot is just hanging out there monitoring.
Yep, we just unlocked the bonus content. Yay!
Yay! Thank you.
Yay!
But yes, FAA, gosh, what a relevant topic at this moment because of that poor plane crash that happened. You know, where was the FAA then? Where were the people monitoring the skies then?
You know, I see people, I've seen some pretty wild takes on what's going on with the plane crash. And, you know, I'm reminded of my old boss, Roger Ailes, back at Fox News. He says, it's better to be right than it is to be first to break a news story. And I see a lot of speculation. Some people are saying that there was a transgender pilot on board.
Oh my gosh!
And
come on, guys.
No. I mean, there was legitimately someone on board, like, but it was a person who was a pilot, but not perhaps the pilot, right? But here's the thing. But like, I don't know if that is true. I see people circulating these rumors online. You know, I'm not going to say, well, I think this is what happened or that was what happened in respecting these people who died. If it was a plane full of like Elizabeth Warrens and Amy Klobuchars and Bernie Sanders and all that stuff, I would speculate wildly on their death because, you know, that's different. But we're talking about
figure skaters.
We're talking about our fellow American citizens. Yes, people, innocent people, private citizens. And they don't deserve to have that happen. So I'm not going to do that until we know exactly what's going on. And President Trump has said that has mentioned DEI as a potential reason for the crash. Thomas Massey was talking about the technology is from like the 1970s that they used for the air traffic control there. But somebody somewhere screwed up big time. And we don't know exactly what it is. And the president has more knowledge than we do about these things. So I'm inclined to believe that there may be a DEI angle on that. However, I don't know, and I'm not going to speculate on that. I'm just going to say that's what the president has said. And I'm going to wait until more information comes out because despite the fact that, you know, it'd be good for ratings to sit around and say, oh, it's a transgender pilot or it is DEI or something like that.
Oh, people would love for us to have a conspiracy theory stream right now talking about all the possible reasons.
We would make so much more money if we were a conspiracy show. Much more money. It's sad, but that's just what it is.
What I'm skeptical about is the Black Hawk helicopter. Those people are very skilled. I don't think there's any DEI going on there.
No.
I mean, like, was the plane in their blind spot? Did it just kind of like fly through? You know, like who hit who?
I don't know.
That's really what I'm wondering.
And there's not enough information to know.
Right.
And, you know,
but they got the black box.
I saw our friend Colonel Rob Maness was talking about it yesterday, saying, you know, this is a totally normal training exercise, blah, 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 because some people were criticizing it. So I'm not going to speculate. You guys kind of in the chat all you want, of course. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but when other people do. But personally, I just don't want to sit around and say, you know, they could have done this, they should have done this. This is why, that is why. I think it's just kind of one of those events where it's kind of like, let's just wait until we have the news, we know exactly what's going on. You know? As
you always say, the most likely answer is usually the simplest.
And
the one that makes the most
Occam's
sense.
razor. That's Occam's razor. Yes. All right. So we're reading public posts from feds who are reacting to Donald Trump's changes in the federal government. It's some of the most beautiful poetry I've ever read. Here's another one. They're saying it's not good, the changes. Russ Vought, the nominee for the Office of Management and Budget, and one of the guys who contributed to many of the executive orders, was reportedly caught on camera a few months ago saying, we want to put federal employees in trauma. Well, he's succeeded. I'm a 14-year federal employee, and I'm feeling pretty traumatized right now.
Oh, yeah. This was very scary for a lot of people.
I mean, what more can I say? Inject it into my veins, wrap it up in a burrito, and feed it to me. I will insert it rectally. I will do whatever you want. Just keep bringing me these headlines.
I'm such a nice person.
This town needs an enema.
I hate to see other people suffering. I don't like that. It's not
fun.
Oh,
really? I love to see my enemies suffer. I love to see my enemies. The people who are the cause of this country's decline, until they suffer, They won't leave us alone. You have to understand the concept of what we're fighting against here. These moral busybodies, Stephanie, moral busybodies. Let me read to you this concept. This could have been you, because you're the type of person who has such a big heart, Stephanie.
Yes.
Many of these federal employees, this could have easily been you if you hadn't gone
Oh,
libertarian.
if I was working for one of the animal government organizations trying to protect animals,
you would have been a
of
little
course.
tyrant. Ban this, block that.
Oh,
yes,
I would have freed all the beagles out of the research
mandate
lab.
this. No, you can't have water flowing to a high risk area for a fire because it might
Yes.
kill a fish.
Oh, absolutely.
But here's the thing. Here's what we're facing. So here's why these people have to suffer. Okay. Here's what C.S. Lewis, the guy who wrote Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, remember we were talking about him? Here's what he wrote. He said, of all tyrannies, a tyranny that is sincerely exercised for the good of its victims may be the most oppressive. It would be better to live under robber barons than under omnipotent, moral busybodies. The robber baron's cruelty may sometimes sleep. His cupidity, horniness, may at some point be satiated. But those who torment us for our own good will torment us without end, for they do so with the approval of their own conscience. In other words, what C.S. Lewis is saying there is that the do-gooders, the people who think they're doing good for goodness sake, they will torment us forever because they think that they're doing it, that it's in our own best interest or own good.
They truly feel they're doing the best thing possible.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
and that's what's so sad about it is they just don't understand that they're really hurting people in the process.
Well, and even if they did, they would justify it.
Yeah.
They would say, well, you want to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs, right? So,
Right.
Like, no. Translate. What does this mean? Let me help to get a little bit more of a explanation for people.
A tough thing. Just like with Javier Milei out in Argentina, a lot of people were struggling with how the economy was changing, and I never like to see people who are not evil crash and burn. There's pure evil in the world, and I don't feel that a lot of these government employees are pure evil. I don't believe that.
I do. I believe that, evil doesn't, here's the thing about evil. You don't have to be intentional
Right.
to commit acts of evil, right? You don't, just because you mean well does not mean that you are not an evil person. Like, the thing about Adolf Hitler is he meant well. He thought that he was a hero. He thought he was
That's true.
saving
That's
the
true.
German race. He destroyed his own country.
Right.
He led to the ultimate downfall and destruction of that which he sought to protect, his own people.
Yeah.
So he thought he was a good person. So another person who wrote about this was humanitarians with guillotines, right? So I think it was Isabel Patterson who wrote this in about God of the Machine. She talked about humanitarians with guillotines. So the concept is that it refers to individuals or groups within revolutionary movements who are driven by a desire for radical change. So they adopt or they justify violence as a necessary tool for their humanitarian or egalitarian visions, right? So this is every communist that's ever existed, right?
Oh, yeah. We see this a lot with the pro-Gaza protesters.
Andy Opperman over in the chat this morning. Nice to see you, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Looking very good and very nice. He says that the definition of evil is a real rabbit hole for me. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that. Moral hubris is really what we're talking about here. So it might point out the dangers that when those who believe in their moral superiority or the righteousness of their cause feel justified in using any means, including violent ones, to enforce their vision of good. So the concept of a humanitarian with a guillotine is like, get in the guillotine, we got to do this because it's in your own good, right? We've got to save the whales, right? We've got to stop global warming, right?
Right.
We've got to, block the flow of fentanyl across the border. We've got to stop kids from gaining access to the dangerous marijuanas, right? So it's the humanitarians with guillotines.
Yes.
Arvolt24 in the chat brings up an old canard, said Hitler thought he was doing good and the trains did run on time. Actually, the trains were running on time before that statement about the trains running on time.
What does that mean?
It came from Mussolini, Italy, actually.
Did they really run on time?
Before Mussolini got into office, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it was actually a propaganda effort by the fascists of Europe to say Mussolini, well, he did some bad stuff, but at least the trains run on time, right? But the concept is false because if you actually do your homework on these things, then the trains had been revamped and revitalized before Mussolini ever took office. So Mussolini just took credit for it. It's like when the economy gets good and a new president comes in, and then they take credit for like the new the economy that was already doing well before them. So Mussolini took credit for the trains running on time, but the trains were already running on time before he got there. He just said, "Oh, it was me."
And
right?
who was on the train? I don't think we wanted it to run on time.
Yeah. Whitey White 14. If we brought up the Hitler thing, so he's having a field day.
Oh, is he in here again?
Whitey White, yes.
He watches every day because we're the only morning show on Rumble.
I know. He's going to put you in a camp. Hitler was a much better person than Stalin, he says. I mean...
Okay. I've heard that argument before.
I mean, it's just
because Stalin is evil as well.
Well, it's like, do you want to eat bird shit or do you want to eat dog shit?
Right. Like, they're the most of the two evils, right?
It's a shit sandwich. The thing that about Hitler is like not all the murders and the Holocaust and the starting of wars and all that stuff, but he was also an economic illiterate. His whole concept of like why he started the war was that they wouldn't have enough. It was a problem of trade. He was an economic protectionist. He assumed that other countries that because Germany was an industrialized nation and they didn't have land for agriculture. That was the reason why he wanted to seize, parts of Russia, like Poland and Western Russia, is because of this concept called the shrinking markets theory, which is the idea that if the other countries around the world didn't want to trade with Germany, then they would starve to death and they wouldn't have enough food to feed their people, right?
Oh, right.
Right. But it became a self-fulfilling prophecy because the more he pissed people off and the more that he, invaded countries, the less people, of course, want to trade with you. And then
he's like self-sabotaging.
Of course. Same with Joseph Stalin. I mean, you could put them both in the same, in the same shit sandwich, right? And not be able to tell the difference between the flavors.
Right.
But economic illiterates. The funny thing about like the fascists and the authoritarians is they're always talking about just how powerful and how these weak liberal democracies are, right? And like because the degeneracy. And I've got a really good book called The Berlin Stories in there where it talks about it's what inspired the musical Cabaret. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah,
but
to the cabaret.
Exactly, yes. So it was all like it's all this concept of like how liberal degeneracy in the cities is what led to the
red light district.
Yeah, exactly. The revolution of fascism in Germany and Europe, stuff. It's like that. But the funny thing is like those like communism and fascism both were destroyed by liberal democracies. Right. So it turns out that free people, able to choose their leaders as they desire and to have free elections are stronger than fascist authoritarian societies. So if you have a society that doesn't bend, then it will break.
Be like water.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to be like water,
yes.
my friend. Yeah. But like conservatives and traditionalists, they don't like the chaos of liberty. Because they want to impose their order onto society, and to a certain, and the sad thing is that like the paradox of that is that to some extent they're right, that if you don't impose a moral order on society, then a moral order will be imposed on you, right? So then in that concept, the philosophical concept, that means that we have to impose our liberal moral order on fascists and communists, right? You don't get to be a fascist in the United States. We're going to be fascists about the fact that you can't be a fascist in the United States.
I've had this discussion with you, and I said, well, is it okay for us to force people to believe in our libertarian principles?
Yes.
How is that okay? Force, we don't agree with force.
Yes, we do.
But
I do.
You say it's okay. And so that's what really gives me a headache because I'm like, what?
Yes, we do. We have to. You are not like I like to in order to get the nationalists on my side, what I like to say is the ultra-nationalists, right? Not the libertarian nationalists, because they should be on my side in this anyway.
Well, you like libertarian nationalism.
I
You
am
wrote the
one.
manifesto.
I am one, yeah. But to say that, immigrants don't have a right to come to the United States and overthrow our constitutional due process and our legal system. Like, you don't have a right to come to the United States for the express purpose of overthrowing our Constitution, our Bill of Rights,
right,
or our culture, right? And for that same reason, you don't have a right here in the United States as a citizen to overthrow our Constitution or our Bill of Rights or our due process. No, absolutely not, right? So we will impose a liberal moral order. When I say liberal, I don't mean like leftist or socialist or
You're saying
communist.
classical liberal.
Yeah, and I don't like to use the term classical liberal either, because most of those people who are classical liberals today are just the weakest, gayest people in our movement, right? They call them, I'm a classical liberal. It's like, shut up, Gary Johnson, right? I'm a libertarian nationalist, right? So in that sense, no, you do not have a right to overthrow our constitutional due process. You don't have a right you do not have a right to subvert individualism here in the United States. We will force an individualistic order on the United States. We will prevent us from being like Chinese communists. We'll prevent it from being like gay, Euro-faggy, leftist, socialist, European, United Kingdom, monarchical, imperialistic things. We're the United States. We're cowboy conservatives. We believe in God, guns, gold, and smoking hot redheaded libertarian women.
Well, thank you.
And sex before marriage. Welcome to the Wake Up America show.
Well, that's up for debate.
No, not in the United States, baby. You don't get thrown in prison for that. Maybe in Saudi Arabia. Good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. We're here to offend everyone.
I saw a news headline about a girl's dad in the Middle East who, I believe he killed her because of her TikTok videos.
Yeah, honor killing shit.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, Islam is by and large incompatible with American values. Certain branches of Christianity are also incompatible with American values. But to a large extent, Protestantism is largely compatible with American values. Of course, America was founded by Protestants.
They have the freedom to practice that religion here in the United States, as long as they do not violate our rights.
Yes, but their religion has to conform to American ideals. You have freedom of religion, but your religion doesn't have the freedom to overthrow our American constitutional rights. So if your religion is inherently opposed to American values, you don't get to practice those religious values. We talk about freedom of religion in this country, but you're not free to engage in honor killings.
No.
You're not free to kill your daughter. You're not free to, like, if you took a completely strict view of the Old Testament of the Bible, for example, you might say you could stone a rebellious son, for example. You don't get to live out those principles. The constitutional values of the United States and the American values supersede your quote unquote freedom of religion in that sense.
Well,
right?
that's why I don't see how the Amish people can be exempt from America. They don't have to pay taxes, all that, just because of their religious beliefs. I'm sorry, but any religion could make the same argument that the Amish people make. I don't think they should be a special group.
I do. Well, and the reason why is because they typically don't impose their religion on the rest of us through government, right? It's not like they're trying to impose some Christian, like Amish theocracy. They mostly are left alone, right? I do think there is a problem with the fact that, they don't have to pay income tax, which is great, but they can also vote.
Oh,
right?
they can vote.
Yeah.
That is messed up.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it is a problem. I think that you should be able to live in the United States and practice your religion as freely as possible. And for the most part, they live out, segregated from society, out from the rest of the people. But I think
really, I mean, they live here in Missouri. Like, you'll see a horse and buggy right next door to a normal American farm.
Yes, I think it is important. I think it is important that they are able to, they're able to have the same individual rights as the rest of us to a large extent. but it is a problem to extend them the franchise and then that to give them rights without responsibilities.
Oh, I think so too.
It's like women. It's, you have rights and you don't have the accordant responsibilities.
Right. Like, do Amish people have to be in the military? Like, are they part of the draft?
No.
There you go. Look, like, that's so messed up.
Right. It's like women, right? Like women don't have to sign up for the selective service.
Right.
But you get the right to vote.
Right.
That is a problem.
Which I think is messed up as well.
I agree.
Yes.
You should lose your right to vote.
Or,
Just kidding.
I know that
Kidding.
a lot of women mentally might be okay with going in the military, but I know that I'm not as strong as you. I couldn't have the muscle power to fight off people on the front line.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So
but I mean,
what use am I?
fly a drone from a tent 10,000 miles away.
Right. Or I could be a nurse.
Yeah, look at Liz says the Amish pay no taxes. No, they do pay some tax. They have to pay sales taxes like everybody else and certain other taxes, but
When
they
I
don't.
see
They
them
don't have to pay.
at Walmart, no, that's actually the Mennonites.
Yeah, the Mennonites. Yeah, they don't have to pay the income tax like the rest of us do. So it is a problem when you grant people a franchise and you give them rights without responsibilities.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're letting them ride in horse and buggies without licenses. You know, it's like we should make them have driver's licenses if we have to have them.
No, but I mean,
Nah.
so like what you and I are dealing with right now is called the free rider problem. It's a free rider
Yeah.
problem. It's like the people who benefit from something who don't pay into the system.
Right.
Right. So yeah. So it's a religious exemption, says Ashley Annie. Correct. Exactly. So we're not going to solve the problems of the franchise and the 19th Amendment and all and all that. But it's a difficult problem, and I'm not sure that
think
we're not going to solve it today.
Trump needs to make, I love Amish people, but Trump needs to make an executive order saying Amish people starting today need to be part of society.
No, I don't want that.
Yes.
No. I think that they should be free. But the thing is like the problem is that like if they're receiving benefits like as free riders, that has to be addressed.
Yes.
So what we could do is we could do like what we did with the Mormons here in Missouri, drive them out to Utah, or to like Alaska. And it's like, there you go.
Is that their
just go all the
sanctuary
way up
city?
there.
They'll have sanctuary
send
cities
them
for
to,
Amish?
We'll send them to. The nice thing about talking shit on the Amish this morning is that it's not like they can hear us.
They'll never know.
Yeah, if there's any Amish people tuning in right now, then you guys are committing a far worse sin because you're using electricity to listen to a podcast.
They might be doing their, what's it called? Their Verbrengen or whatever. Or no, their Rumspringa.
Rumspringa, yes.
They might be on their Rumspringa right now, and they might be listening to us, contemplating coming into American society.
Yeah.
Come with us.
Blue Trike says, I don't think the Amish use a lot of government services like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, so them not paying some of the taxes kind of balances out. Well, that's true to a certain extent.
Well, I don't use food stamps either.
Yeah, I know.
So what do you say?
Well, see, this is why the solution to this, of course, is to abolish the taxes, of course, right? So we can all be on the level playing field and
That's right.
abolish the draft, so that it's not like when it comes to women being able to have the right to vote, that we don't because what they're going to do is they're going to draft chicks. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I have a question. If there is no draft, could it be that we'll have no people to fight? What if everybody's like, I'm not fighting? Then America would really be screwed, and then we're really just gonna kill ourselves.
It would never
essentially.
happen. It would never happen because of how like patriotic Americans are. After 9/11,
Yeah.
what did everybody do? They signed up. They joined the military, right?
So you really have trust in the people that they're gonna stand up and be like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I absolutely do. I know. But here's the thing: if they don't, I mean, there's all this talk about us being a democracy. If they don't, then maybe it's because you are in the wrong war. Maybe the people don't support it.
Yeah.
Right. If people aren't willing to support a war with their lives and their blood and their treasure, then what the hell? Maybe you shouldn't be in that war.
Right.
Right. So like Vietnam,
That's
for
true.
example. So
maybe we should, as citizens, be able to vote on every war.
Not sure about that. I think I would prefer to just continue to have a representative republic. So there you go. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, good morning. I'm Austin Peterson. We're glad to have you here. I'm hanging out with my smoking hot redheaded libertarian wife, Stephanie.
I just love to talk about philosophy and go down rabbit
I know.
holes. Can't you tell?
We don't need to go down any more rabbit holes today because I'm reading from government employees who are in pain and suffering from what the Trump administration is doing to them. I need to go pee for liberty. So we're going to take a quick break, play the bonus content for you guys. Enjoy it. When we get back, more government employees crying, more drinking of tears. And then we're going to talk about how to build wealth doing nothing and how to develop an abundance mindset before we go on the Wake Up America Show, Freedom Family Friday. It's the Wake Up America Show. We'll be right back.
Circuit's bold ruling, young adults and handgun rights. Imagine being told your fundamental rights don't apply until a certain age. That's the story of federal restrictions on handgun sales to adults aged 18 to 20, a rule that was just overturned by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. Get ready to unpack history in the making. For decades, individuals between 18 and 20 years of age were restricted from purchasing handguns under federal law, 18 U.S.C. 922b1. The basis? Assumptions linking maturity and firearm use. But was this constitutional or just another legal overreach? Let's find out. To understand this ruling, we need to revisit America's rich history of firearms. From the militia days of the 1790s, young adults weren't just allowed, they were required to own firearms. So where did this age restriction law come from, and how does it fit into the Second Amendment's framework? This groundbreaking case, Reese v. ATF, challenged long-standing federal law using a powerful precedent, the Supreme Court's decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin. This recent case established a more stringent test for evaluating gun control measures. Under Bruin, the government must demonstrate that gun restrictions align with historical precedents. And here lies the problem. The federal ban couldn't point to relevantly similar age-based restrictions during our nation's early years. This was crucial to the Fifth Circuit's unanimous decision. Judge Edith Jones, authoring the court's opinion, dug deep into the historical context. She argued that age-based restrictions were absent in the founding era and wouldn't logically exclude 18 to 20-year-olds, given their role in the militia. Let's hear how she unraveled the government's arguments. Government lawyers relied on outdated laws from the late 19th century to justify the age-based ban, laws enacted long after the Constitution's drafting. But as Judge Jones noted, these post-Reconstruction laws carried little weight against earlier traditions of universal firearm ownership. The 1792 Militia Act required young men aged 18 to 20 to serve in armed militias. They were even mandated to provide their own firearms. It's a landmark piece of legislation that strongly reinforces the Fifth Circuit's interpretation of the Second Amendment. This isn't the first age-based gun law challenged in court. The Fourth and Ninth Circuits encountered similar challenges in recent years with differing rulings. How does the Fifth Circuit's bold interpretation stack up, and what does it mean for national legal consistency? Gun rights organizations like the Firearms Policy Coalition cheered the ruling as a massive victory. They argue that age should never be a barrier to a constitutionally protected right. But not everyone is on board. The Fifth Circuit ruling has stirred fierce debates. Supporters call it a restoration of constitutional integrity. Critics worry about the implications for public safety. These polarized reactions echo larger national conversations around gun control. The Fifth Circuit ruling raises a profound question. Are 18 to 20-year-olds any less the people intended by the Constitution? The court's answer unequivocally says no. Young adults, the judges argue, hold the same rights as every other citizen. This case isn't just about guns, it's about equal rights for young adults. Why should an 18-year-old be eligible for military service and voting, but not protected under the Second Amendment? This contradiction is now out in the open. If this ruling stands, potential ripple effects could impact other areas of firearm regulation, particularly state laws that set higher age limits for specific types of firearm purchases. Are we witnessing the beginning of paradigm-shifting change? The U.S. has long recognized firearm ownership as a fundamental right. From colonial militias to modern arguments over the Second Amendment, this heritage strongly influenced the Fifth Circuit's landmark decision. The ruling's impact is seismic, but could it face reversal? The federal government may appeal this decision to the Supreme Court. What happens if this reaches the nation's highest court, and how might it reshape gun laws nationwide? Opponents of the ruling argue that stricter gun laws are vital for public safety, especially concerning younger, less experienced gun owners. Will such perspectives gain traction in response to this controversial decision? This landmark ruling also affects federally licensed firearm dealers who must adjust their practices. Legal challenges aside, how are these businesses responding to the ruling, and what's the economic impact? Another major sticking point is federal versus state governance on firearm sales. With states like California traditionally enforcing stricter rules, this legal shakeup ignites further tensions in state-federal dynamics. For individuals aged 18 to 20, this ruling restores a fundamental right, but will the practical effects extend beyond access to handguns? Advocates believe it represents broader victories for young people's equality under the law. At the heart of this issue is a balancing act. How do we maintain public safety while honoring individual rights? The Fifth Circuit case reignites these debates with immense implications for America's legal landscape. The ruling also reflects broader legal trends emphasizing individual liberties. From free speech to privacy, courts increasingly favor interpretations that harness freedom, creating a new era of constitutional governance. Legal scholars remain divided. Some hail the decision's historical accuracy, others criticize it as disregarding modern realities. Join the experts in dissecting this groundbreaking decision to understand its multi-layered dimensions. The U.S. isn't the only country grappling with firearm legislation. A closer look at global approaches reveals stark contrasts and highlights the unique challenges faced by American courts interpreting constitutional rights. Advocacy organizations played an instrumental role in challenging this law. The Reese v. ATF case serves as a textbook example of how citizens can engage with the legal system to drive meaningful change. While this ruling marks progress for constitutional rights, it introduces new challenges. Will future cases continue to expand Second Amendment protections, or will backlash and counter legislation emerge as obstacles? Regardless of where one stands on the issue, respecting final judicial outcomes is critical. This decision reminds us of the judiciary's role in shaping national debates and defending the Constitution. This case is about far more than handguns. It's about your rights. Share this story, discuss its implications, and stay engaged in legal conversations shaping our future. Let's ensure every constitutional right remains protected for generations to come.
Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your Founding Flavors at apforlibertyshop.com.
Are you tired of the strange radioactive effects of leftist culture? Do you ever wonder what happened to good old-fashioned American values? Well, fear no more, because there's a new force fighting back against the cultural rot of today. Introducing Culturama, a right-of-center talk show that's taking back the future today. Hosted by none other than blonde bombshell herself, Daniela Pensack. She's not just talking, she's taking culture back. With sharp takes, brilliant guests, and a few surprises along the way. Tune in to the live video podcast twice a week, because the future doesn't have to be weird. It can be Culturama.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that at the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian, and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity...
Now, Mr. Kennedy, you've been quoted saying tap water has cooties in it. Is that correct? Sorry, no, don't speak. Mr. Kennedy, if you keep talking back to me, you're going to get a spanking. Now, let's say a drug company kills a bunch of people. Will you promise to be chill about that?
You're asking me to not sue drug
companies. No, that is not what I'm asking. Let the record show Mr. Kennedy just called me the N-word. This next question is brought to you by Pfizer. You were quoted saying vaccines are turning all the kids gay. Do you stand by that?
Senator, I support vaccines.
No, you don't. You don't support the things you say you support.
The only thing I want is good science, and that's it.
Let the record show Mr. Kennedy wants to ban science and cannot spell the word science. Mr. Kennedy, I'm going to ask you a simple yes or no question here, okay? Do you believe that all patients should have to call their doctor daddy? Yes or no?
Senator, I can't give you a yes or no answer.
Let the record show Mr. Kennedy does not know how to answer questions.
You want me to answer the question?
No, I'm not here to listen to your little answers.
We have the highest chronic disease
I
burden.
don't care. La, 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 la.
That is pretty funny.
Good morning, my little pineapples. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. How's my little pineapple doing this morning? Stephanie Peterson.
I've changed a little bit of my position here in the frame. Baby Hazel's here. She's feeding on her bottle right now.
Yes, baby Hazel is here.
Got my
she woke
arm
up.
extended.
Yeah, she woke up. So, Steelbringer dropped $5 in the tip jar.
Oh,
says,
thank you.
Thank you, sir. Says, what's the big announcement anyway? It's a big announcement. It's something that we think is really going to help the For Liberty Network grow in 2025.
Yeah, because as I've been telling all of you when I call you on the phone, we are wanting to grow in 2025. We want more of what we already have. Better.
Yes. Bigger, better, faster, harder, stronger, work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger, more than ever, hour after hour. Work is never over.
And that's why we're announcing Kanye West is joining the For Liberty Network. There you go.
Your Jewish mother would be very upset.
You know, isn't it funny how Kanye West literally fell off the face of the earth? Nobody hears about him anymore. But
Yeah.
he was running for president just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Craziness.
It's because of those Jews.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Wake Up America Show. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. We're glad and thankful to have you here. Freedom Family Fridays, what we call our show on Fridays, when I bring my smoking hot redheaded libertarian wife Stephanie in. And now we got baby Hazel. She woke up, so we bring her in.
Hey guys, it's baby Hazel Rose.
We got about 30 minutes left on the show. And we're finishing up the BuzzFeed article where they pulled all of these quotes from federal employees who were posting publicly about how they felt about the incoming Trump administration. We just got done with about 13 of these, and there's like 17 or so. I'm not quite sure. So let's continue here. We'll finish these up, and then we're going to talk about how to get rich while doing nothing.
And I want to say thank you to Waldo. He already cut a clip of our show talking about the grievances of the government employees. So thank you, Waldo.
Let's give it up for Waldo.
This is how we're going to grow the network.
Waldo is
share, like.
Yeah, cut clips from the show, your favorite clips, and post them out there, guys. We all got to work together if we want to have a liberty network. If you're tired of the domination of the Beltway, insidery libertarian types, and you're tired of the cuckoo go nuts, crazy pants libertarians, you want good, solid, reasonable, but principled libertarians to control the media of the liberty message, guys, then be like Waldo Marrero. And Waldo is also a Peterson's patriot.
Yes.
Yeah, he is. So thank you, Waldo, for that. I mean, look, we're creating jobs. You know, we got Brad Beckman on full time. It'll be great. You know, I'm really hoping that we can hire a social media firm this year as well. And of course, we've got lots of fun surprises planned for you guys and new shows that I'm working on growing the network so that we can go towards, having, more and more content being live from the For Liberty Network all day long. That's my dream. That's my goal. That's what I'm working towards. Thanks to everyone who's helping to make it happen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. All right. So I work in Congress for a Democrat member, writes one Fed. The amount of calls we got today was staggering. It's hard because we're literally getting the guidance as everyone else is. So while people ask us to do something or ask if something will be affected, we're scrambling to find out for ourselves. It's not a great look, and we're only a week in. Oh, sad. They're sad. Very sad, sad Feds.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard to get a lot of angry calls.
Yes, here it is. Here's another Fed writing publicly saying they work at the Social Security Administration. We've been under a hiring freeze since October due to the continuing resolution. We are so understaffed. They think we can do the same amount or more with even fewer employees. Yes. Yeah.
Maybe you can. It's called efficiency.
Yeah. What a joke. We've had people complaining for years about how long everything takes with the SSA, and it's about to get so much worse. I'm looking into a few certifications to make myself marketable in the event I'm let go. Wow. That's the smartest Fed we've heard from yet.
There you go. Feds that are flexible.
Yes, flexible
and who ride
Feds.
the waves of change.
Yes,
they will be just fine.
This Fed just might get to keep their job after all with that kind of mindset. I don't see this ending well, but I'm not leaving voluntarily. Okay, well, we'll see about that. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't willingly give up my beautiful nest of eggs either.
Not necessarily, but I would be doing what that Fed is doing, and I would be looking to expand. I'd be brushing up my resume. I'd be expanding my skill set, maybe learning how to program ChatGPT, and we're going to talk about that here in just a few minutes.
Absolutely.
Here's another Fed. They said, I'm senior enlisted in the Navy. Everyone is just kind of in shock with all the changes. No one I've spoken to is happy that vaccine deniers are being offered to come in with back pay. Oh, vaccine deniers.
RFK Jr.
It's a slap in the face to those who come in with back pay. It also said it's a slap in the face to those it's a slap in the face to those who followed orders and science. It also sets a god-awful precedent. The January 6th pardons feel like a straight betrayal. That's one of the best ones.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the good science, right? What does that mean?
It's
Come
a slap
on
in
now.
the face to those who followed orders and science, right? So this senior enlisted in the Navy is angry that the vaccine deniers are being offered to come back in with back pay. Right? It's a slap of those. It's slap in the face to those who believe in science. They believe in the science, Stephanie.
It's the good science that we're looking for. The natural news science. That is the good science.
Yes, they say, and they continued on and wrote, I'm also at a public health command. Boy, we're going to find out who these feds are. I'm going to call my congressman, and we are going to do some sleuthing.
Is there a sunshine law for this?
If they're federal employees and they're posting this kind of stuff publicly, if they think they're anonymous, they are so...
Oh, you can trace their IP address.
We're going to find
somehow,
these
some
feds.
way.
We're going to find these feds, guys. Click the like button if you want to help find the feds.
Open up.
Exactly.
FBI, open up!
That person then went on to say, I'm also at a public health command, so we're all waiting for the shoe to drop, start dropping on vaccines, the CDC, etc. Then on top of all that, there's so much uncertainty about Greenland, Panama, and whatever other country the president decides he needs to have. It's just bad, and it's only been 8 days.
Oh my gosh, I just thought of something. Have you ever seen the video of Michael Jackson pointing at all of the different statues that he wanted in this store?
Yes.
It's
yes.
almost like Trump. He's like, I want that one.
Yes.
I want that one.
I want to fire that Fed. I want to change that mountain. That's the Gulf of America. You know, you're fired. It is. It's beautiful. I mean, it's like a libertarian paradise we've been having the last
he
week.
needs to bring back the Apprentice show and personally fire every single Fed on the show.
Yeah, not all libertarians are happy though. I saw Justin Amash was kind of bitching about it the other day.
Well, Justin Amash. I love the guy. He's wonderful, but he really doesn't like a lot of things.
No, it's like he got schnookered by the Russia Gate investigation. He voted for impeachment. And
Yes, he did.
He got schnookered by the Russia Gate hoax.
Yeah.
And he kind of just, I don't know. I think COVID was a changing moment for a lot of people, especially the libertarian movement, because there were a lot of quote unquote libertarians, or like regime libertarians, we call them, who were for lockdowns and business closures and all this stuff. And I'm not saying Amash was for that. But he kind of went that left libertarian way. Now he's actually talking about like running to take over from Angela McArdle as the chair of the Libertarian Party.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would be very happy with that. I trust him.
I guess. I mean, here's the thing. I feel so conflicted because like Amash and I had a good relationship for a number of years, and like it's hard to call out your friends when you think they're wrong, but like this is not going to sound logical. This is not going to sound reasonable. This is going to make me sound like I'm the idiot. And I don't know how to describe it any other way. Like I don't want to sit here and give you a full breakdown. I could do it if I had it. I wasn't prepared to do this today. But he just sounds kind of like a little wuss. He sounds like a little wussy, a little weenie, like whining and complaining. It's like now that we have Javier Milei, now that we have a successful libertarian who is a warrior. I have no time for these pussy libertarians, these weenies, you can't trust these people to do what they say they're going to do. Yeah, we know, Justin. We know we can't trust them to do what they're going to say, but we're getting some things accomplished that we want. And Trump isn't even a libertarian, and he's doing more than any libertarian has ever done in the history of the United States to shrink government. And he's blackpilling. He's out there posting about how, they're going to stab you in the back. Like, you can't trust them. You can't believe them. It's like, no shit. Like, yeah, we know that, like, you have to be skeptical about the people who are in power. But it's like, it's like when I talk to the judge on Wednesdays, very black-pilled. He's just very like, none of this is good. It's all unconstitutional. It's not going to happen. All this kind of stuff. Just kind of like, I don't know how you could not be thrilled, not be seeing the wailing and the gnashing of teeth of your enemies, the people who want to destroy everything that you love and care about, and you're blackpilling and you're upset. I don't understand.
Even Ron Paul is willing to work together.
I know
with the Doge organization.
Dude, I have seen Ron Paul is like the ultimate black pill.
Yeah.
Right? Like the world is ending, buy gold, you know.
And usually we follow in his footsteps. At least the OG libertarians, whatever Ron Paul said or did, I was fine with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm surprised that Justin Amash and Judge Knapp, that they're not following in Ron Paul's footsteps and being more open to these changes.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to tell. I mean, each person has like their own motivations for why they may or may not feel a certain way about it. And the judge makes good points when he talks about the constitutionality of certain orders. But, you know, some of these things, you know, that the president is doing are dubious. But I think what he's doing, the reason he's doing it is because he's he knows, for example, that it's very highly unlikely that birthright citizenship is going to get overturned here in the United States.
Right.
But he knows that by attempting to do so and that by bringing a campaign up against it, that the left is going to fight really, really hard for something that doesn't necessarily matter and isn't necessarily going to change, while he's over there changing the things that he can change and firing federal employees. And it's kind of like one hand doesn't see what the other hand is doing. And this really is my problem with like libertarians like Justin Amash and others, is that there's no tactics. Right? It's very much like it's a libertarianism that is toothless. It's all theory and no practicality. There's no art of war, right? There's no karate, right? Like Justin Amash has no karate, right? You know, and it's one thing to get elected, it's another thing to actually like get bills passed. I mean, and you could criticize like Thomas Massey for the same reason, you know, even though he's definitely been a hero, he's a little bit more pragmatic, but he also has never passed a bill.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of like I think people love Justin Amash and they love Thomas Massey because of the things that they say, not necessarily because of the things that they do, but we should start to value results. We should start to value actual libertarian outcomes.
Yes.
Because I will take a Donald Trump who gets some things done for liberty over a Justin Amash who talks a great game about liberty but doesn't accomplish anything for it, right?
Yeah.
Right? And you could level the same, you know, you could call me a hypocrite for the same charges or reasons, but, you know, the truth is the truth, no matter how painful it may be to me on my own personal allegations of what have you accomplished, et cetera, et cetera. But the truth is that we have to find leaders who can get us results. And I don't know that Amash is the person for that, because I think actually Angela McArdle was very effective in many ways at moving libertarian policies forward, despite the fact it wasn't about getting people elected. I don't think anybody's going to get elected as a libertarian on a federal level, probably ever. But in terms of affecting the conversation, getting Trump to come to the LP's convention, making promises to the libertarians, like McArdle, she made that happen. So
Ross would not be free without her.
Yeah, I agree. If you have no karate, you fail, says C.O. Day. Correct.
Yes.
Sarah for Liberty says, we were just saying the same thing at our caucus meeting. Most libertarians will only make lemonade when given the lemons. Exactly. And I try to explain this to libertarians all the time. Liberty is not something that is given. It has to be taken. You have to take it. Nobody's going to give you freedom. Nothing moves in politics unless it's pushed.
But libertarians hate taking things because that's violating the now.
Exactly. And that's another reason
why.
So
they're just like, it has to come to me. I can't use force.
Exactly. I have to wait until someone kills me before I kill them. You know, so retarded. The nap is the ultimate retardation of modern libertarianism. The non-aggression principle is a primary what would you call there's the main character, and then there's the
protagonist, antagonist.
Yeah. So the non-aggression principle is like strangely is the primary antagonist of the libertarian movement because it prevents anyone from taking action because you're frozen. I can't do anything because who's aggressing against who? PTR Peter the Great over in the chat says, is Austin no longer working in the office? Chose a different fork in the road? Yes. Decided to work from home.
Well, yes. See, we are open to change.
Yes.
We are open to efficiency, which is what this is. We get to sleep longer.
Yes.
We get to be in our own home.
Yep. And we've, all the change that I had to make in order to make this work, because our internet is crappy here at our house. was to dial down the bit rate of the show, so it's not like streaming in as high definition as I would like. I would really like to stream it in much higher quality than we can pull off, but I think this is good enough. I actually think it's nice quality. So we'll do that, and we'll spend more time at home together with our baby, and we'll have more freedom. And I can stay up later. I can get up later. It's just really nice. So
Yes.
let's. Did I finish all of the crying feds? Oh, I got let's see. I got 3 more. Here they are. These are federal employees who are complaining about the changes that are being made. It's worse on the inside than can even be expressed by the media. We have fully lost our democracy to Trump and the broligarchs, which is actually a funny term.
The broligarchs?
Yeah. Oligarchs, broligarchs.
I hope that word becomes mainstream. That's great.
Broligarchs. I do not expect an election in 2028.
What will happen? It's going to be fascism all the way?
Instead, I expect a national emergency or another avenue to suspend the election. No!
Oh, I would be so shocked at that.
The Supreme leaders, the Supreme Court will do nothing to stop the hostile takeover. Actions are being taken by non-governmental people and organizations on behalf of dear leader, and much is blatantly illegal. As a Fed, we cannot speak out, or even exercise our First Amendment rights under this administration. Hell, that's right. Pledge loyalty or get out.
Isn't that crazy when the powerful government no longer has power?
I love it. It's beautiful.
And the people then have the power, but we are the ones that make up the government.
Yes, that came to all of us Feds this afternoon via email from the Office of Personnel Management. Although it's clear the messages were generated outside of OPM, dipshits don't even bother scrubbing the metadata from the files when they post them. So easy to confirm. Well, Fed, guess what? You're fired. You're fired.
Did they scrub the metadata of their post before they made it, this person?
They better hope so, because I'm going to turn them all into the congressman. Number 18 on the list of crying Feds posting publicly about their woes. I have one coworker that voted for Trump that's freaking out about us probably having to return to the office because he's nearly blind and has to take an Uber to work during his weekly in-office day.
Oh, my goodness.
Without me egging him on, he admitted he was happier under Biden and said he doesn't like Musk anymore. Of course, it took him personally being affected to reach that point. That's what that person said about the blind person.
Oh, my goodness.
It took them being personally affected to reach the point of not liking Elon Musk anymore.
Well, that's usually what happens.
Dude, they would throw...
It has to be in your backyard in order for you to get
This bitch would throw this blind person under the Uber in a heartbeat if they continued to say that they dare say that they like Elon Musk. Right?
That sounds so intolerant.
Oh, it's so shitty.
I mean, this is very discriminatory. Okay, let's like turn this around here. So this person is hating on a blind person. This is a disabled individual.
Let me just read this to you. Okay,
that they're trying to protect.
Let me start this again. Right? These are the people who work for the federal government. They're writing anonymously, publicly, or so they think, about what's happening. I have one coworker that voted for Trump that's freaking out about us having to return to the office because he's nearly blind. I'm blind. I can see barely. And he has to take an Uber to work during his weekly in-office day. Without me egging him on, it sounds like there's a lot of this person egging them on, he admitted he was happier under Biden and said he doesn't like Musk anymore. Of course, it took him being personally affected to reach that point. I'm annoyed, though, because even though he really wants to keep working, he's old enough to retire. And I'm pretty sure he has the money to. A few other people I work with voted against this are also panicking about all this bullshit that's happening. Yeah, these people are trash, Stephanie. They are trash.
I'm shocked at the intolerance that the left has. Come on
please.
now. Like
You're
they're all
shocked?
about,
You're
diversity.
shocked?
We love everyone. We accept differences. Disabilities. We are one. This person just dissed an old person, ageism, and a disabled person.
Yeah, you're
That's terrible.
I'm shocked that you're shocked.
Well, I'm just shocked that they're just like openly throwing this person under the bus.
Yes. And lastly, the last Fed here, the last crying Fed, For 22 years, I've worked as a federal wildland firefighter. Okay. They say the best for last. Their best case. Here it is. I've literally bled in the service to this nation and its people and to preserve its natural resources. I've had guns pulled on me by white supremacists. Sure, you have. And pissed off private citizens. Sure. I spend months at a time away from my family and friends and have missed many once-in-a-lifetime events. I make less than a McDonald's store manager. Yeah, it's called public service. Yet I'm responsible for the emergency implementation of over $2 billion worth of energy reserves. Homes of about 35,000 people, blah, blah, blah. This is a bunch of masturbation. The $75K annual salary I get has saved this nation tens of millions in potential losses. Wow. An incalculable value of lives, resources, infrastructure. I have pulled dead children from car wrecks, decomposed addicts from homes, homeless men from dumpsters, and buried dozens of pets before their owners could see their charred remains. America elected Trump after he said federal workers are a threat to their financial freedoms. Now he demands that I achieve a higher performance level to keep this job. I will also have to prove I'll be more loyal to him than the U.S. Constitution, so I'm going to drive a garbage truck. Here comes some bad words, guys. So if you got kids or something, he starts cursing here in a minute, and I'm going to read the curse words and I'm going to curse myself. So please turn the volume down if you don't want people to hear the nasty words. Here it is. So I'm going to drive a garbage truck, make 6 figures, listen to my backlog of audiobooks, and be home every night with my family. Someone else could take over all that shit mentioned above. Fuck Trump and fuck you if you voted for him. If I'm going to be labeled an enemy to America, I might as well own it. That's how I feel. Good. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Fuck you, you fucking stupid motherfucking firefighter piece of shit. I don't care how many children you pulled out of how many dead cars. Get the fuck out of here. We're making America great again, baby. USA, USA, USA.
Is it already the end of the show? Oh my gosh. Oh. We didn't even talk about manifesting your destiny.
I'll save it for next week. Stephanie, we have to do a giveaway.
Oh, we do.
Hello. Yes, we do.
We're giving away a Smokin' George coin necklace.
Yes, we are.
Available at forlibertyshop.com. Who are we giving it to? We have so many subscribers now.
I know. We have so many subscribers.
There's just so many people to choose.
So many people to choose from. People who have the red box next to their names, they're eligible. People who are monthly subscribers at wakeupamericashow.com/support. They are also eligible. Yes, subscribers. And today's winner of the Wake Up America Show's coin is Richard Bell.
Yay, Richard! Is he watching?
Oh my God!
He's watching?
Yeah, Bell I hope so.
Oh.
But we've got his contact information for sure. So Richard Bell.
Richard.
Yeah, Richard Bell. He's an old buddy of mine, and he is a monthly sub. And we are so grateful to everybody who's given us support on the Wake Up America show. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the Wake Up America show today. Sorry for all the bad language, but I'm just having so much fun drinking liberal tears. Liberal fed tears are the most delicious, and they sustain me. Don't forget, as you exit through the Grift Shop at forlibertyshop.com. That's the number 4libertyshop.com. And we will see you guys again next week, Monday morning on the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. What you got there, Steffi?
Be free.
Yes, let's see that baby.
Oh, here's Hazel.
Yeah, you can just push that microphone aside. Let's see it. Give her to me. Give me the baby.
Are you tired of the strange radioactive effects of leftist culture? Do you ever wonder what happened to good old-fashioned American values? Well, fear no more, because there's a new force fighting back against the cultural rot of today. Introducing Culturama, a right-of-center talk show that's taking back the future today. Hosted by none other than blonde bombshell herself, Daniela Pensack. She's not just talking, she's taking culture back. With sharp takes, brilliant guests, and a few surprises along the way. Tune in to the live video podcast twice a week, because the future doesn't have to be weird. It can be Culturama.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that at the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian, and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
Conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.